money station. Does that make sense? That checklist, we're going to come back to the checklist. We're back to the money chest. How do I make money? The money. Where does the money live? How do I make the most? How, if I'm getting started in this business, how am I going to make the most amount of money in this business? What's the first thing I need to become to make money in my own business? I am now deciding I am the CEO of my own business, and I need to get great at what first? What would you say, Cheryl?
Acquiring customers.
Acquiring customers, what would you say?
Plan with the end in mind.
Plan in mind, what would you say?
Being a student.
Being a student, what would you say? Recruiting all the time, what would you say? Work ethic, what would you say? Product knowledge, what would you say, Chet? What would you say? Self-improvement? Set goals. Set up your own accounts. I must become great at presenting my own business. I need to become a great presenter. I don't have to be a great salesperson. I have salesman A, who is #1 in the world, and this week he only showed it to 10 people. I have salesman B, and he's a mediocre salesperson, and he showed it to 100 people. Who's going to sell the house fast? Salesman B, the one who has the most exposures. We established yesterday that you can't sell a person. It's a timing in their life. She just said, I'm in, I get this, I'm in between doing this, I'm doing energy work, but the timing's impeccable. Anyone and everyone in here, you weren't sold to get in, you were just caught at the right time. It's not a matter of how great the company is. Yes, we want to be with a company that has great support, with great products that we can put our name behind, integrity, something that has long-term, it has the documentation, it has all that. That's not even part of the issue, but that's not why a person gets into the business. Person gets into the business because at the time in their life, it's the perfect time, they're ready for a shift. Does that make sense? Yes. 10 days ago, it might have been the wrong time for her. 10 days tomorrow, it could be the wrong time. Right now is the right time. When you call 20 people, it's not how great a salesperson you are. It's catching the right person at the right time. So you lose by making it all about you of, I got to figure out what to say. I got to know how to sell. I need to say the right words. I got to know who to talk to. I don't know what to say to them. I'm scared, Well, I'm going to wait. I need to get more information. You're killing your own blessing because the right person, you cannot say the wrong thing to the right person. And you cannot say the right thing to the wrong person. Write that down. Should I get that? Yeah. I only know if I talk to 100 people, it's going to give me a ratio, and I'm going to find 10 people at the right time. I've done some of my worst presentations in my own head, and you guys know I'm an orator, so I get high off of my supply of speaking. So when I talk, I've done some of my worst presentations and felt like crap. That was just crappy. They aren't even going to get that. Now, obviously, I've worked to a place where now I know how to keep myself in a state. But in my first 3 or 4 or 5 years, and people are like, that was so great. I'm in. I'm like, the hell just happened? And then I've done some of my best. I was like, oh, kill that. I'm the bomb. Everybody get in on that presentation. And I'm looking at everybody and I was like, nobody got in. I was like, what the hell is wrong with y'all? That was the bomb. Did you just hear me speak? I just killed it. That was like, oh, I would have got in 20 times again myself. Everybody looking at you like, call me later. It was a great presentation. And I'm like, what just happened? It took a long time to realize it has nothing to do with how great my presentation is or how bad it is. It's the timing in that person's life. Does that make sense to everybody? But if I want to make a lot of money, I want to talk to, write it down, a lot of people. If I want to make some money, I will talk to some people. If I want to make no money, I will talk to no people. which means I need to get great at just presenting, not selling, not convincing, not the wow factor. I don't have to be all of that. I just need to be able to read the presentation. Can I have a 1 through 10? Do I have a 1 through 10? Yeah, one, Dr. Here we go. Come on, Dad. That's all right. Let's get started. Come on up, Ingrid. You have 30 seconds to give a presentation. Go ahead.
Great.
Tell me when you're ready.
Ready.
Go.
Welcome, everyone.
Hello.
Hello. Thank you. I just want to, first of all, thank you for being here. I joined Matrix Group through a great friend of mine. She introduced me to a group of individuals who are putting money back into the community, and I was just thrown by that. The reason why I joined the group is because I want to retire my father. I was having a conversation with him 2 weeks ago, and he told me that he thought—
Time.
Sorry.
No worries. You have to apologize. Just come out. This is how your presentation and 1 through 10 in 30 seconds. Go ahead.
Hi, everyone. I know why you're here, so I want to get right to the nuts and bolts of what we're talking about, what this organization is all about. You are joining a magnificent company. If I can read this. This company is across the world. We're talking about, we have offices throughout the globe. You would be able to earn money, make money, and draw clients from anywhere. We're in 23 countries.
Awesome. Now to make one up.
Can you come back?
You got it. You got it.
Good job. 30 seconds.
30 seconds, 1 through 10, go ahead. Go.
Good evening, everyone.
Good
This
evening.
evening, I would like to talk to you about a great company that I happened to got invited to, and I want to share a little bit of the company with you. This company has been around since January 1993. It's in 24 countries and 4 continents. It has over 700 million in revenue, and it's growing. The company offers services that we already use. It's called our essential services, mainly our phone or wireless.
Anybody else want to try?
That's right.
Come on up. I got you next, Elaine.
I started, you started.
You start now.
How you doing, everybody? I'm gonna just give you the nuts and bolts of the business here. So can you please plot your 1 through 10? That's this sheet right here. I'm gonna give you the summation of what's going on through here. So block number 1 is talking about the credibility of the company. Basically, we've been around 21 years. We've been solid here, not going anywhere. Let you know, a lot of businesses fail within their first year, right? Donald Trump is with us. He's endorsed what we do. But by all means, there's some credibility there.
Elaine?
Good evening, everyone. Welcome. So happy you could be here. I want to know how many people here would like to make money or save money. I'm going to tell you about a company that's been 21 years and 24 services. 24 countries. And we make money. You can make money here. There's 3 ways you can make money on essential services that everybody uses every day. How many of you use cell phones?
Time.
You're either in or out.
My presentation, in or yeah. Welcome, in or out. There you go.
Great evening, everyone. Let me tell you about a phenomenal opportunity you've just been invited to. This company is a company that spans 4 continents and 24 countries. We deal in essential services and residual income. You get in today, you begin to make some money.
You put it on the 30 seconds, so.
Deuces.
You either in or out.
Who has time? You got time? Tell me when.
30 seconds.
Number 1, the company is a global company. Number 2, we help people save money on bills they already have. Do you have bills? Yes. Number 3, we actually don't do any commercials, no advertisement. Number 4, you're going to get 10% on every customer you acquire. Number 5, you build a team and you get paid off your team. Number 6, you're going to get $11,000 a month off of building that team. 7, you have an amazing support system. Number 8, we build an amazing team underneath you and you earn money as you go. Number 9, it's a balanced compensation plan. Number 10, I'm here to train you on it.
24.
You must become a student of your business and you must practice on your own. It is not a job that somebody employs you and tells you what to do. You must do it on your own. You master a 1 through 10. You do it in 30 seconds. Then you expand upon that. You get extraordinary. If you give me a minute, I can actually put more into it. You put more into it. You have an amazing 3-minute presentation. Now you can make millions of dollars a day on 3 minutes a day. You give me 4 minutes, I'll do an amazing 1 through 10, and you will feel like you sat in an entire hour presentation. 5 minutes, I can add my story to it and close anybody. 6 minutes, and I can show you the training and how powerful it is that you will get trained by the best in the world. And you have a 6-minute presentation, that means 6 minutes a day will make your bills go away. 2015, you need to practice your own presentation. It's just a 1 through 10. It's not a wow factor. It wasn't me being an orator. It wasn't me being a speaker. It wasn't me being Martin Luther King. It wasn't me reaching the heart or the soul. It was me just being able to read 1, a global company. 2, we do this. 3, anybody can do that. And the right person's going to get it, the wrong person isn't. You need to find an accountability partner within the family, and you need to practice your craft. You keep showing up to a game and losing every tournament and then wondering why, because you never went and practiced. You just show up to the tournaments and you're getting killed in 2014. 2015, if you want to win, Beethoven played and practiced for hours before he got in front of hundreds of thousands of people. Serena practices for hours. A doctor practices for hours before they're let onto somebody's body to do surgery. You are practicing your craft. Is this making any sense?
Yeah.
Now we'll take it a step further. Once I get the 1 through 10 down in my head, because that's all I'm doing is sharing and presenting the business to a whole lot of people, then we get to the point where I need to be able to do the presentation without the presentation. So, Michelle, you can step up and start first.
Okay.
You get 3 minutes to do a presentation without the 1 through 10. Go ahead.
Okay, I'd like to welcome everybody here for this opportunity. Our company is a global company. We've been around for My company is a global company. We've been around for 21 years. We are endorsed by Donald Trump, by Fortune magazine, by Inc. magazine. Documentation beats conversation all day long. We don't have time to talk about that. What I do have time to talk to you about is the services that we offer. We do essential services, which is everything from cell phones to merchant services.
You get 1 or 2 cheats, by the way, if you want to, right?
Okay. From cell phone to merchant services, everything that you already pay for, we offer at a discount savings to our customers. There is no selling. All we're doing is sharing information. How do we do this? We do not use internet marketing. We do not use mailings, nothing like that. The companies that are Fortune 500, 200, and 100 companies come to us, and we acquire customers. That's all we do. How do we make money in this company? We make money off of our own personal customers. So you can get up to 10% off of any customer that you get.
You're going to get 10%.
You're going to get 10% off of every customer that you acquire yourself. And then the folks that you expose to the business, the customers that they get, you get paid off of those as well. That's called residual income. In addition to that, the power of the business is you have the ability through a team like that to make up to $11,000 a month. What you get for $4.99, which is what this business costs you to get in, is a turnkey internet business. I'm a web designer. You cannot buy a business from me for $500. You get a $500 business where you can do business in 24 countries and 4 continents. There's nothing like it.
They earn position.
There are several earned positions. You'll get an opportunity to meet some folks here tonight that are in those positions that are making thousands upon thousands of dollars. They've been in the business for 2 weeks. They've been in the business for 2 years. You make money according to how fast you want to make it. Lastly is training. The key to all of this is training. If you're not willing to get trained, I will not take your money. You need to be dedicated. You need to show up. You need to get the information. It's a $500 business, but you got to treat it like it's a $500,000 business, and that means coming to training.
Outstanding. Give her a round. Yeah. How many people can tell she's been doing a lot of presentations?
Yeah.
What was missing in the presentation?
Well, there was no personal.
Okay.
I didn't include the word.
You can't hear.
I'll give it
a mic. Go ahead. Keep going, I'm listening.
There was no personal. I didn't have very many examples. I would have put in examples with the services.
Nope. Keep going.
I didn't have my own store.
Nope. Keep going. Evaluate yourself right now.
Oh,
Where are
I'm
you?
not still
No, that's fine.
evaluating myself. I'm an ATT individual. I am.
Okay. So what are you missing? Energy.
Yep.
You need to learn work on your state. We talked about that last night. State.
What they
Most people that get to ETL have to work on that. Mila has to work on it, not as much as you because she's more seasoned at a degree, but she still goes up and down. You have to work on that and management presentations. That's going to be the hardest thing of you being able to maintain. We've been going nonstop. We started at 6 a.m. yesterday. We didn't finish until 1:30 last night. We started again today. Most of you went to church or slept in. We're still going right now. I went for 3 days with no sleep, and I'm the one that's actually using all the energy. What would it be like if we were sitting here at this late right now? I said, so what are we doing? I need you guys to, yeah, we're gonna make a lot of money together. If you guys don't mind, I'd like to hang out with you guys for the next couple of days. We're gonna do this all week because, you know, we have to show up every day. And I'm gonna need you guys to bring some Tylenol. I can't be the only one bringing energy and getting into a state. That's the sacrifice. That's the price. It's changing your posture, changing your attitude, being able to do. You have to be able to do what you don't want to do when you don't want to do it, and nobody else know that you don't want to do it. You guys bring new people in here. I have to be responsible after training all day, today and yesterday, and still be in a specific state for them to receive a specific message and to get it with a specific energy. I can't afford to be anything other than extraordinary in my energy because you're counting on me. Question, Can I count on you? Because that's what you have to work on. If you are practicing your craft, you learn to expand. You do a 1-minute presentation. Now, same thing, you can time me on mine. And it's okay if you peek and cheat because there's so much in your head. Tell me when. Go. So our company is global. It's in 24 countries, 4 continents. What that means is you can try to and fro any country you want. You can shop, you can eat, and make millions of dollars wherever you go. The reality of our company is all we do is help people save money on bills they already have. Do you have a cell phone, sir? Yes. Do you have gas in your house? Do you have electricity? Imagine getting paid every time someone turns on a light switch, and you can acquire a customer and you never have to ask anybody for $1 out of their pocket. All you do is ask them if they want to save money one time, and you get paid month after month. On top of that, if you acquire 5 customers, which you know if you open up a store, you're going to have hundreds of customers. But your first 5, right after the 5th one, all your bills are free for the majority of our services. Then on top of that, 10 on gas and electricity, which is freaking amazing because you're going to get 10% on every customer that you acquire right after you acquire 20 services, because we're going to knock out the first 20 services in the first week. 10 are going to be in your own household. Then if you start building your distribution, would you like to own 1 Starbucks or 1,000? 1,000. And how would you like to have 1,000 Starbucks, but you never have to show up at any of them? And every time they make money, you're going to make money because you shared it with somebody who wants to open up their own business anywhere in the world. You leverage that against an $11,000 a month income predicated on a hypothetical situation. If you can identify just 2 people that acquire 20 services with an average bill of $40 and built it 7 generations down, you're now in excess of 11 grand a month that will hit your bank account every month for the rest of your life, whether you get out of bed or not after you quit. That is gorgeous to me. But the key behind that is that takes a minute to build, because if I acquire you as a customer, first you have to use the service, then you have to pay your bill, then I get my check. My first check was only $22, but do you mind waiting a year and getting a $22,000 check? Now that money's gonna keep growing, but we need money now because we got bills when? Right now. So we have another part of the marketing plan that allows you to get paid right now. In your first year, you can go to undergraduate on 15 hours a week and get up to $50,000 a month. By the time you graduate in 1 year, that's possible for the now money. And while you're getting that now money, you're getting paid a second stream of income that's building residual income on the back end. If you go to graduate school for another 2 years, you can get up to 6 figures a month. And the key behind this balanced marketing plan is that if you aren't willing to get trained, because you know you got to learn how to do math, learn how to do surgery, you don't accidentally make a lot of money. You got to learn how to make this money, but they pay you while you learn. And our training is ridiculous, and you get excited about learning. And I just need to know if you want to come to school tomorrow with me. Time.
Exactly 3.
Wow.
Full presentation. There's not one aspect of the business was left out. 3 minutes a day and make your bills go away. Is this making any sense?
Yes.
We're still into about 4 layers of the onion. What do I have? This leads me to the branding. Where's my clipboard? Can you bring my clipboard up? And the new people are going to have to take a break and get to the core in a minute, but I want you to see this one last piece. I want to start the conversation before we get to the core of the branding. No, yes, no? It's not back there? It's a clipboard. Somewhere around here, I have a clipboard.
The clipboard was being used for application.
It had, that's what happened, thank you. Okay, okay, it's good. Okay, cool. So, I being a leader, I need to master the art of inspiring action in my team. That's what this is all about. We need action. Action gets us paid. Activity keeps us broke. Action gets us paid. Activity gets us broke. Everybody with me, yes or yes?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Beautiful. So now in that conversation, how do I do that? You got to stay present. I'm you. You're me. I need to learn how to be an SVP yesterday. I need to get paid as an SVP today. Yes or yes?
Yes, sir.
I can't hear you.
Yes,
Beautiful. So I need you to pay attention to this piece real quick, and then we'll round up and take a break and close out for the people that need to check. So go ahead, put that one on to Nick for me. Yep. Did you fix the, okay, you did? I messed it up. Not yet, coming.
It's coming.
Now it's Lincoln, coming, Lincoln. Lincoln. Almost.
By the way, the first session, remember I told you it ends in 8 hours? It ended 20 minutes ago
So what you say you got on?
because I started another
Oh,
session.
how cool. Did they all get it?
No, but it'll be recorded, so it'll go
Okay.
out.
Well, once you send it to me, I can send it. You did it, right? Okay, go ahead. Really pay attention. I take notes off of this, by the
How do you
way.
explain when things don't go as we assume? Or better, how do you explain when others are able to achieve things that seem to defy all of the assumptions? For example, why is Apple so innovative? Year after year after year after year, they're more innovative than all their competition. And yet they're just a computer company. They're just like everyone else. They have the same access, the same talent, the same agencies, the same consultants, the same media. Then why is it that they seem to have something different? Why is it that Martin Luther King led the civil rights movement? He wasn't the only man who suffered in the pre-civil rights America, and he certainly wasn't the only great orator of the day. Why him? And why is it that the Wright brothers were able to figure out controlled powered manned flight when there were certainly other teams who were better qualified, better funded, and they didn't achieve powered manned flight? The Wright brothers beat them to it. There's something else at play here. About 3.5 years ago, I made a discovery. And this discovery profoundly changed my view on how I thought the world worked, and it even profoundly changed the way in which I operated it. As it turns out, there's a pattern. As it turns out, all the great and inspiring organizations in the world, whether it's Apple or Martin Luther King or the Wright brothers, they all think, act, and communicate the exact same way, and it's the complete opposite to everyone else. All I did was codify it. And it's probably the world's simplest idea. I call it the golden circle.
I had to watch this 3 times.
Why,
Really,
how, what?
Why,
This
how,
little
what?
idea explains why some organizations and some leaders are able to inspire where others aren't. Let me define the terms really quickly. Every single person, every single organization on the planet knows what they do 100%. Some know how they do it. Whether you call it your differentiating value proposition or your proprietary process or your USP. But very, very few people or organizations know why they do what they do. And by why, I don't mean to make a profit. That's a result. It's always a result. By why, I mean what's your purpose? What's your cause? What's your truth? Why does your organization exist? Why do you get out of bed in the morning? And why should anyone? As a result, the way we think, the way we act, the way we communicate is from the outside in. It's obvious. We go from the clearest thing to the fuzziest thing. The inspired leaders and the inspired organizations, regardless of their size, regardless of their industry, all think, act, and communicate from the inside out.
Amen.
Let me give you an example. I use Apple because it's easy to understand and everybody gets it. If Apple were like everyone else, a marketing message from them might sound like this. We make great computers. They're beautifully designed, simple to use, and user-friendly. Want to buy one? Nah. And that's how most of us communicate. That's how most marketing is done, that's how most sales is done, and that's how most of us communicate interpersonally. We say what we do, we say how we're different or how we're better, and we expect some sort of behavior, a purchase, a vote, something like that. Here's our new law firm. We have the best lawyers, the biggest clients we have. We always perform for our clients, do business with us. Here's our new car. It gets great gas mileage. It has leather seats. Buy our car. But it's uninspiring. Here's how Apple actually communicates. Everything we do, we believe in challenging the status quo. We believe in thinking differently. The way we challenge the status quo is by making our products beautifully designed, simple to use, and user-friendly. We just happen to make great computers. Want to buy one? Totally different, right? You're ready to buy a computer from me. All I did was reverse the order of the information. What it proves to us is that people don't buy what you do, people buy why you do it. People don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. This explains why every single person in this room is perfectly comfortable buying a computer from Apple. But we're also perfectly comfortable buying an MP3 player from Apple, or a phone from Apple, or a DVR from Apple. But as I said before, Apple's just a computer company. There's nothing that distinguishes them structurally from any of their competitors. Their competitors are all equally qualified to make all of these products. In fact, they tried. A few years ago, Gateway came out with flat screen TVs. They're eminently qualified to make flat screen TVs. They've been making flat screen monitors for years. Nobody bought one. Dell came out with MP3 players and PDAs. And they make great quality products, and they can make perfectly well-designed products, and nobody bought one. In fact, talking about it now, we can't even imagine buying an MP3 player from Dell. Why would you buy an MP3 player from a computer company? But we do it every day. People don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. The goal is not to do business with everybody who needs what you have. The goal is to do business with people who believe what you believe. Amen. Here's the best part. None of what I'm telling you is my opinion.
This is why your why is so important. Yes. Just move it back just a second. Yeah. But yes, she's doing it now. But I need you to get your why and how important that is. If people buy who you are, they're buying you. They aren't buying the opportunity. And in buying you, they're buying your why. And in your why lives a cause. People will die for a cause before they'll die for a dollar.
Exactly.
People aren't interested in a dollar as much as they are in having something that they can believe in. When people get into your business, it's because it makes sense. When people stay in your business, it's because they believe in you. When people get into the business, it's because of timing and it makes sense. If people stay in your business, it's because they believe in you. They can only believe in you if your cause is something that you believe in, something that you will stand on, something that you will die for. That could be your mother, your father, whatever. Being debt-free, that's a cause. There's no shame in whatever your cause is, whether it is to make enough money or to take care of your dog. Nobody really cares about that part of the concept. But is it something that you truly believe in? Because if you can't reach the heart, your business will never start.
Amen.
You are transparent when you're talking to people. They can tell if you're sold out on what you're doing. It doesn't come across as a sales presentation. They need to see your heart and your belief system to buy into being a part of your organization. Is that all making sense? Are you guys following that so far? And it's critical in being able to truly move the comma for yourself. Because see, when you believe in something, you don't have to worry about the outcome. Now we're focused in on the income. That's why I keep telling you to develop yourself, to work on your craft, to practice your craft, to wake up early in the morning, to read a little bit more, to get an accountability partner, to be able to trade off on a presentation, to build your mind, to make sure your spirit has been completely cleansed so that it becomes strong enough to hold the weight of the mind that's going to carry the information. They need to see somebody who is unstoppable, forced to be reckoned with.
Amen.
If it's like saving your child's life or your mother's life, they need to see fire in where you are and where you're going. And they will only get fire if your belief system is attached to the conversation. If they can see your beliefs, see, at that point, you really could care less. See, when I talk about God, I give reference to my Muslims. I give reference to my Mormons. I give reference to my Jews. But I don't ever shortchange my God and my belief system in my God. I just am respectful of everybody else's. Does that make sense? Is everybody following that?
Yes, sir.
And I'm not going to hold back my conversation about how God has saved my life.
Amen.
In any way, for anybody, at any time. And with that conversation comes, I'm not worried about the outcome of what you believe or what you think when I'm talking about the truth of how my God has played in my life. So I don't ever have to worry about who's buying into my conversation, because God's going to put the right people who need to hear what I have to say in my space, and I'm going to save a life.
Amen. That's right.
And a life that I'm not supposed to save is not going to be there. It's going to move on.
Amen.
And that's okay, because that's just the way life works. And then, see, if I'm not worried about the outcome of my conversation, you're sitting up there as a pastor giving a sermon and saying, did you get it? Did you get it? I just talked from Psalms. Come on, I need you. I'll read it again. Come on. Should I start at the last Psalm or the first one? Can I start in the middle? I'll do whatever I got to do. You didn't get it. You didn't get it. Okay. I need to talk to somebody who wants to get it.
Right.
Somebody who's asked me, please read it again. Could you say that? Could you back that up just 2 seconds? I need to see that. You know what? I'm tired, but I'm not too tired because I got to go to work tomorrow. I'm going to be more tired at work than I'm going to be here. So I might as well stay here and learn how to make 7 figures. That's what I'm looking at. See, that belief system, when you get more focus of what you're putting into your business than what you're taking out, 3-6 months later, there won't be enough arms you have to be able to carry what will come out of what you put into it. But you must be more focused on what you're putting into your life, and what comes out will be a miracle beyond your wildest dreams, because things will happen that you had nothing to do with except for you started pushing the rock.
Amen.
And it will catch on fire, momentum, and gain speed beyond your wildest dreams. Don't tell him though. Okay, everybody with me, yes?
Yes, sir.
Is this making sense? Are you guys following this?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead. Did you move it back a little bit forward?
Yes, I did.
Okay, thank you.
People don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. The goal is not to do business with everybody who needs what you have. The goal is to do business with people who believe what you believe. Here's the best part. None of what I'm telling you is my opinion. It's all grounded in the tenets of biology, not psychology, biology. If you look at a cross-section of the human brain, looking from the top down, what you see is the human brain is actually broken into 3 major components that correlate perfectly with the golden circle. Our newest brain, our Homo sapien brain, our neocortex, corresponds with the what level. The neocortex is responsible for all of our rational and analytical thought and language. The middle 2 sections make up our limbic brains, and our limbic brains are responsible for all of our feelings, like trust and loyalty. It's also responsible for all human behavior, all decision making, and it has no capacity for language. In other words, when we communicate from the outside in, yes, people can understand vast amounts of complicated information like features and benefits and facts and figures. It just doesn't drive behavior. When we communicate from the inside out, we're talking directly to the part of the brain that controls behavior, and then we allow people to rationalize it with the tangible things we say and do. This is where gut decisions come from. You know, sometimes you can give somebody all the facts and figures and say, I know what all the facts and details say, but it just doesn't feel right. Why would we use that verb? It doesn't feel right. Because the part of the brain that controls decision making doesn't control language. And the best we can muster up is, I don't know, it just doesn't feel right. Or sometimes you say you're leading with your heart, you're leading with your soul. Well, I hate to break it to you, those aren't other body parts controlling your behavior. It's all happening here in your limbic brain, the part of the brain that controls decision making and not language. But if you don't know why you do what you do, and people respond to why you do what you do, then how will you ever get people to vote for you or buy something from you, or more importantly, be loyal and want to be a part of what it is that you do? Again, the goal is not just to sell people who need what you have. The goal is to sell people who believe what you believe. The goal is not just to hire people who need a job. It's to hire people who believe what you believe. I always say that, you know, this if you hire people just because they can do a job, they'll work for your money. But if you hire people who believe what you believe, they work for you with blood and sweat and tears. And nowhere else is there a better example of this than with the Wright brothers. Most people don't know about Samuel Pierpont Langley. And back in the early 20th century, the pursuit of powered man flight was like the .com of the day. Everybody was trying it. And Samuel Pierpont Langley had what we assume to be the recipe for success. I mean, even now, you ask people, why did your product or why did your company fail? And people always give you the same permutations of the same three things. Undercapitalized, the wrong people, bad market conditions. So it's the same three things. So let's explore that. Samuel Pierpont Langley was given $50,000 by the War Department to figure out this flying machine. Money was no problem. He held a seat at Harvard and worked at the Smithsonian and was extremely well connected. He knew all the big minds of the day. He hired the best minds money could find, and the market conditions were fantastic. The New York Times followed him around everywhere, and everyone was rooting for Langley. And how come we've never heard of Samuel Pierpont Langley? A few hundred miles away in Dayton, Ohio, Orville and Wilbur Wright. They had none of what we consider to be the recipe for success. They had no money. They paid for their dream with the proceeds from their bicycle shop. Not a single person on the Wright brothers team had a college education, not even Orville or Wilbur. And the New York Times followed them around nowhere. The difference was Orville and Wilbur were driven by a cause, by a purpose, by a belief. They believed that if they could figure out this flying machine, it'll change the course of the world. Samuel Pierpont Langley was different. He wanted to be rich and he wanted to be famous. He was in pursuit of the result. He was in pursuit of the riches. And lo and behold, look what happened. The people who believed in the Wright brothers' dream worked with them with blood and sweat and tears. The others just worked for the paycheck. And they tell stories of how every time the Wright brothers went out, they would have to take 5 sets of parts because that's how many times they would crash before they came in for supper. And eventually, on December 17th, 1903, the Wright brothers took flight. And no one was there to even experience it. We found out about it a few days later. And further proof that Langley was motivated by the wrong thing, the day the Wright brothers took flight, he quit. He could have said, that's an amazing discovery, guys, and I will improve upon your technology. But he didn't. He wasn't first, he didn't get rich, he didn't get famous, so he quit. People don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. And if you talk about what you believe, you will attract those who believe what you believe. Well, why is it important to attract those who believe what you believe? Something called the law of diffusion of innovation. And if you don't know the law, you definitely know the terminology. The first 2.5% of our population are our innovators. The next 13.5% of our population are our early adopters. The next 34% are your early majority, your late majority, and your laggards. The only reason these people buy touch-tone phones is because you can't buy rotary phones anymore. We all sit at various places at various times on the scale. The law of diffusion of innovation tells us is that if you want mass market success or mass market acceptance of an idea, you cannot have it until you achieve this tipping point between 15 and 18% market penetration, and then the system tips. And I love asking businesses, what's your conversion on new business? And they love to say, oh, it's about 10%, proudly. Well, you can trip over 10% of the customers. We all have about 10% who just get it. That's how we describe them, right? That's like that gut feeling. Oh, they just get it. The problem is how do you find ones that just get it before you're doing business with them versus the ones who don't get it. So it's this here, this little gap that you have to close, as Jeffrey Moore calls it, crossing the chasm. Because you see, the early majority will not try something until someone else has tried it first. And these guys, the innovators, the early adopters, they're comfortable making those gut decisions. They're more comfortable making those intuitive decisions that are driven by what they believe about the world and not just what product is available. These are the people who stood in line for 6 hours to buy an iPhone when they first came out, when you could have just walked into the store the next week and bought one off the shelf. These are the people who spent $40,000 on flat screen TVs when they first came out, even though the technology was substandard. And by the way, they didn't do it because the technology was so great. They did it for themselves. It's because they wanted to be first. People don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. And what you do simply proves what you believe. In fact, people will do the things that prove what they believe. The reason that person bought the iPhone in the first 6 hours, stood in line for 6 hours, was because of what they believed about the world and how they wanted everybody to see them. They were first. People don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. So let me give you a famous example, a famous failure and a famous success of the law of diffusion of innovation. First, a famous failure. It's a commercial example. As we said before a second ago, the recipe for success is money and the right people and the right marketing conditions, right? You should have success then. Look at TiVo. From the time TiVo came out about 8 or 9 years ago to the current day, they are the single highest quality product on the market. Hands down, there is no dispute. They were extremely well funded. Market conditions were fantastic. I mean, we use TiVo as a verb. I TiVo stuff on my piece of junk Time Warner DVR all the time. But TiVo's a commercial failure. They've never made money. And when they went IPO, their stock was at about $30 or $40 and then plummeted, and it's never traded above 10. In fact, I don't think it's even traded above 6, except for a couple of little spikes. Because you see, when TiVo launched their product, they told us all what they had. They said, we have a product that pauses live TV, skips commercials, rewinds live TV, and memorizes your viewing habits without you even asking. And the cynical majority said, we don't believe you. We don't need it. We don't like it. You're scaring us. What if they had said, if you're the kind of person who likes to have total control over every aspect of your life, boy, do we have a product for you. That pauses live TV, skips commercials, memorizes your viewing habits, etc., etc. People don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it, and what you do simply serves as the proof of what you believe. Now let me give you a successful example of the law of diffusion of innovation. In the summer of 1963, 250,000 people showed up on the Mall in Washington to hear Dr. King speak. They sent out no invitations, and there was no website to check the date. How do you do that? Well, Dr. King wasn't the only man in America who's a great orator. He wasn't the only man in America who suffered in a pre-civil rights America. In fact, some of his ideas were bad, but he had a gift. He didn't go around telling people what needed to change in America. He went around and told people what he believed. I believe, I believe, I believe, he told people. And people who believed what he believed took his cause and they made it their own, and they told people. And sometimes those people created structures to get the word out to even more people.
You need to write that down. That people need to believe what you believe, not believe in you totality. When your belief is at a specific apex, when it's at a specific height, it screams a message and a energy that resonates with another person's belief system, that allows them to buy into doing it for themselves, not for you.
Mm-hmm.
Did that make sense? You guys following that?
Yeah.
So the more you believe, the more you build your belief system comes with a greater amount of knowledge, which comes with a greater amount of you being a student for what we're doing. You can't move something that you don't know. You can't market products that you don't know. You can't market ACN because you don't know it. You can't market an opportunity because you don't know it. You can't market making millions of dollars because you haven't made it. But you can market your belief system. Once you get past attempting to either sound good or being intelligent, you'll make millions. Because you will be forced to only rely on that which you know, which is your belief system. That can never be changed. Nobody can ever change that about you. Nobody ever can ever take that from you. Nobody can ever challenge. If you believe your child is the most beautiful thing that ever happened in your life, you can talk about your son or daughter until the sun comes up. And if anybody ever challenged you, because you said my son is amazing. My son is humble, he's beautiful, he's charming, he has everything I wish I had when I was growing up. He actually grew faster than I didn't get past 6 foot till I was 30 years old. Boy, 6'3" years old, and somebody comes up and says, excuse the language, ladies, your son ain't shit. that person's gonna die. Because you're challenging something that I love, know, and believe. You don't know me. You don't even know my child. Now you give me your opinions about something you don't know. See, that's how I feel when people have stupid conversations with me about my ACN. When they have stupid conversations about my matrix organization. When they have stupid that's why even when where's Teresa? Right there. When she first came into the business, Michelle was doing a PBR at Wendy's house. 2 people came late. One acted like they knew me. I know you. No, you don't. Who are you? I went along with it just because I was trying to be cordial. I don't know you from a pan of cake, a can of paint. Are you guys fine? I was like, I know your brother, sister, cousin up the alley. You know Tyus and his girlfriend, his ex-wife. No, I don't know you. I was like, hi. And then there was another one who came in. She just came to eat and drink. And Teresa was like one, obviously, that she got it. She wanted it. She needed it. You guys have heard her testimony. She like, and these 2 people sat to the left and right of her and got in her head, were trying to get in her head and were so negative. I mean, that just tells you that you can't say the wrong thing to the right person. The right person is going to see past all that. But at the same time, there's some that are on the fence that could be the right person that if you don't protect your children from the first time they see the presentation, the devil's going to show up in the form of somebody else. And while Michelle was working on this side of the room and Wendy was hosting, these 2 were just, you're going to get in it. I wouldn't do it. I mean, you get this, all this, right after she got really excited, just completely, I mean, just, who does that? You follow what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But that belief system, when you believe in something, the outcome is going to come to what it is, to your belief system, to the height of your belief system. But you're going to have, because Michelle's belief system was unshakable at that point. Wendy's belief system was unshakable at that point. Miss Yancey was there. So the energy of just 3 could counter any 2 devils. Because all Teresa did was hang on to the 2. It was like, didn't even, is everybody following me on that so far?
Yeah.
So I want you to get that more than anything else, because I need you to truly understand the input of what I'm forcing you to shift in order to change your mindset. Before you can even get to big numbers, you got to believe in small numbers. You don't even believe. If you say, I'm going to bring in 3 people this week, you don't even believe in what you believe in. Because you aren't even talking about it. If you're only going to talk to enough people that only 3 people might hear it, you're hoping that 3 people come in this week. You have no intention of getting into big numbers. You haven't brought in 3 all month, but you're going to bring in 3 this week, which means a half a person might get your belief system if you talk to. Because if I believe in my son, I'm talking about my son all the time. Anybody bring up children, we're going to have a conversation. I'm going to talk about God all the time. You believe in God and believe in spirituality, I'm waking up praying. I'm going to pray with you. I'm going to pray around you. I'm going to pray tonight. I'm going to pray when y'all sleep. I'm going to keep praying. I'm going to read scripture. I got my Bible in the car. I got a Bible everywhere I go. This is what I believe. It's something that's part of me. It's who I am. It's not who I'm attempting to be. It's not what I'm a part of, or I got 1 foot in. I'm in that ACN. I am not in ACN. I am ACN. That's who I am. I just give it another name because I'm actually reinventing ACN. I'm rebranding it. Because I don't need other people to come and say, oh, that's what it is. Companies rebrand themselves all the time. People put the same product in the same bottle and put 4 different names on it, and people go and buy like, oh, I get this brand. It's the same as that brand. No, it's not mine. It's that much better than that brand. Don't even know they're buying the same product. Put it in 4 different bottles. I've seen it, and it's been taught. That's what it is. Yes.
The perfect example of that is Jimmy Kimmel did it one night. The Christian Louboutin came out with a $675 bottle of nail polish. And he took nail polish from CVS, put it in the box, went out on Rodeo Drive, and he was putting it on women's fingers. It's like, wow, it does so well. It's better than anything I've ever had. 2 girls even walked up and says, it even smells good.
Rebrand.
Perfect example.
Is this making sense? Are you guys getting this? Excellent. We're almost there. Go ahead. Thank you.
And lo and behold, 250,000 people showed up on the right day, on the right time to hear him speak. How many of them showed up for him? 0. They showed up for themselves. It's what they believed about America that got them to travel on a bus for 8 hours to stand in the sun in Washington in the middle of August. It's what they believed, and it wasn't about black versus white. 25% of the audience was white. Dr. King believed that there are 2 types of laws in this world, those that are made by a higher authority and those that are made by men. And not until all the laws that are made by men are consistent with the laws that are made by the higher authority will we live in a just world. It just so happens that the civil rights movement was the perfect thing to help him bring his cause to life. We followed not for him, but for ourselves. And by the way, he gave the I have a dream speech, not the I have a plan speech. Listen to politicians now with their comprehensive 12-point plans that aren't inspiring anybody. Because there are leaders and there are those who lead. Leaders hold a position of power or authority, but those who lead inspire us. Whether individuals or organizations, we follow those who lead, not because we have to, but because we want to. We follow those who lead, not for them, but for ourselves. And it's those who start with why that have the ability to inspire those around them or find others who inspire them. Thank you very much.
Did that help anybody? Yeah. I can't hear you. Did that help anybody? Awesome. So we're going to take a break. Now we get to the core of those that are serious and those that have to go. I understand. We're going to take a 15-minute break, and I need you to actually meet somebody, have a conversation, and share with them your belief as it's linked to our cause of what we're doing to see how, and I say convincing only in the sense of them being able to see your conviction. How clear is your conviction and your belief system to somebody else about you being here a year? Will you be here a year from today? That's the question. Will you be here a year from today, not existing, but will you be a pillar, a force, a wall? Will you be able to be pointed to and say, look, when I first started, I was just like you. Now I have a whole organization that's all over the world and my money and my lifestyle. Are you going to be that testimony or are you going to be that casualty? And that starts with how your conversation comes across from meeting each other. Finding an accountability partner on the break would be good for you, of who you're going to practice during the month of January, being able to do a 1-minute presentation, 3-minute presentation. Who are you going to hold accountable? And who's going to hold you accountable? That's who I would be looking for. Somebody who's going to drive my acumen to another level, my whole knowledge base, who's going to make me get paid. I'm looking for somebody who's going to make me get paid, that's going to allow me to make them get paid. I'm not looking for somebody who I like. If somebody drives my combo to another place, I'm going to love them at the end. I don't need to like you. I just need to know you're going to hold me accountable. I'm looking to make money. I didn't come in for friends. I could do that outside of this. We can be friends along the way, according to the way. What you doing over there, Cheryl? Taking out the trash? Who didn't get qualified? I work for Claps, 15-minute breaks. Thank you guys very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, we will be returning to the broadcast in 15 minutes. We thank you for joining us on the Matrix Group Boot Camp. And we are.
There we go. Are you ready? Grab your seat. Let's go. Fill up. Let's go. All right. So 440 that we talked about. I know a lot of people are trying to talk about 440. We're going to have that meeting, and if you were not here at the 6 a.m. meeting yesterday, and you want to be a part of the core, then, Joe, do you have another sign-in sheet, or can you highlight names for me or something?
I have fun.
Okay. So if you would like to be a part of the core that is, we call them the crazy people, then you can go and see Cheryl at the back before you leave and make sure your name is on there. Initially, I was going to pick and choose who would be a part of that, and I found that that was politically incorrect. Because the people you think will what? Won't. The people you think won't, what? So I want to give everybody the opportunity to be a part of that. That's not just a select group. I think to be a part of that group is probably the most extraordinary thing on the planet, because it's not just who is going to get it done, but who is getting it done. That's how I was actually identifying the people. You could be brand new. You can actually be a leader in the core and have somebody who's coming in on your team and identify somebody who is not necessarily there. They can be as early as a day old or as old as 6 months or 6 years old. Is everybody with me on that so far? It's not predicated on title. It's not predicated on tenure. It's not predicated on looks. It's not predicated on how much money you have. It's predicated on results. And those results will be an elimination every 7 days. So you have to get 10 customers every week. You have to produce results in regards to generating at least 10 new business partners this month. So I do everything based on signs and omens and things that feel good to me that I can believe in. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And so I came up with 440. I don't know how God gave me that number, but I also know that for this month, I have a mandate of a goal for myself. And you want to keep goals at the front of yourself, goals at the front of yourself. That's going to be how I start. I finished and started at the same place. Today we started at goals. I'm going to finish at goals. And that goal is to generate and close a minimum of 400 brand new business partners in the business. I think that's more than doable if you have 40 motivated business partners that want to get paid to figure out how to put 10 new business partners in their team. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. And if people are working on a daily grind, not an every other day grind or an every 3-day grind or an every other week grind, but a daily grind for 30 days, that should be very simple to do. I don't want to say easy, but very simple to do. Of course, if it's just you, it's a little bit harder, but if you got 3 people on your team, it's easier to bring in 30 because you're just helping 3 people. Is that making sense? So the first goal I would actually have that I want to use for this platform, because I'm coming back to goals, is that you want to set a goal for a brand new person to find 3 business partners on your board of directors. The challenge within that conversation is going to be, and you have to use discernment, because everybody is not going to be a willing participant when they first start to bring in 3 brand new people. It's almost like pulling teeth to get 1. Does that make sense? So you have to pick and choose your battles, and you're going to have to use judgment as to, do I help this person just get 1 person in for success, 2 people in for success, or is this a person who's ready to go AWOL to make a substantial amount of money, to understand you can't make any money until you have 3 lines driving? Because 3 lines driving sets you up for a 6-figure a year income. It's predicated throughout the entire marketing plan. You have to be ETL before you see any significant money. You got to be team coordinator before you get any money to replace your income. You have to be an RD before you see money that will take you over the top. So you need at least 3 to get through 2/3 of the marketing plan. So you're looking for people who are willing to put in the work to at least bring in 3 lines and then learn how to build them. Did that make sense?
Yeah.
You also have to use discernment, which we'll talk about for tomorrow, that invite themselves to the 440, about how to set up PBRs properly. And who do I do PBRs for? And who do I do one-on-ones and 2-on-ones for? Because if you impose a mandate for anyone that comes into your business to do a PBR as soon as they come in. And they force themselves into a space of doing it. And they invite 20 people and nobody shows up, you can kill their spirit before they start. Did that make sense? Did you follow me on that so far? So I have, you know, with Betty that I'm going to do a PBR because I know with her being a doctor, with her being a seasoned individual and having tenure and credibility, she can fill up a room with 20, 30 people. But then I may get someone else who's 19 or 21 or someone who has been just a stay-at-home mom who hasn't been interactive at all, who does not have that type of full credibility or integrity to pull people. And I can kill their spirit by telling them this is what you have to do to have success, as opposed to me helping them bring in 1, 2, or 3 people and then getting to 1 or 2 or 3 people that can bring in another 10 or 20. Now they're jacked out of their mind. And then they'll find the fight within them to go and bring 5, 10 more to the table. Does that make sense? Okay, so also on that checklist again, yes, sir.
So that second, so 2 or 3 people, do you still do a small PBR or you do a
100%.
call?
Yes. At phase 1, until you have 3 driving lines, one should always be in phase 1, which is always, that's why Spencer said his first 30 days, he went crazy. He took a bus down from Salt Lake City to Los Angeles. He's 21 years old. He was living on his bicycle. He wasn't the popular kid in school. He just had a burning desire. And he got the vision going to a national. He came back home and he promoted like crazy and filled up a bus of 52 people on a bus. He didn't wait for a national. He wasn't waiting for a Palm Desert. He wasn't waiting for a regional. He wasn't waiting for he didn't know who the speaker was. He didn't care who it was. He just knew there was a weekly meeting and he set that up for his own national. And he drove 40, 50 people down to Los Angeles and his business took off. His next month, he put 75 people in business as an ETT. Nobody told him to do that. I'm sure, I know he was coached. I coached him, Jeff coached him, but he was coachable and he did it. Most people have a lot of questions and they want the information, but they don't do anything after they get it, but sit on the information. He actually activated and did that. So if I have somebody who does not have a sphere of influence, once a burning flame lights within them, they can make anything happen. But if I defeat that flame or put it out before it actually catches, and they're unsure what they're doing, they haven't got their belief system, they really aren't clear about their why, they just know they need to make some money, and they attempt to do something that they fail miserably at. Nobody likes to feel like a failure, so then they tell and hide. So 2 things will happen. Either they'll quit, or they'll just stay in the business and they'll never bring anybody else into the business for another month or 2 months, because now they got to gather information to understand what they're doing. If a person doesn't have a sphere of influence and I sit down with a brand new person and I go with them through their list and I'm doing 1-on-1s, 2-on-1s, 1-on-1s, at some point you're going to find a superstar. And if you learn how to taproot appropriately, you're going to find a superstar. Most people do 1, 2, or 3 PBRs and then they don't do anything. They do another one for 2 or 3 months. That's several people in this room for 2014. You kill your own business. So you aren't doing PBRs and you don't have store hours on a daily basis to be in front of doing 1-on-1s and 2-on-1s every day. You just are now reaching out on the phone, hoping somebody catches the conversation. And then you're saying they aren't, I'm talking to a lot of people, nobody's getting it. No, you didn't get it. Because this is one of the things Sinek talked about yesterday as far as the human touch versus technology. Why do 10,000 bloggers meet in Vegas? Because they want to feel each other. If I had a whiteboard, what we used to always do is we would draw an hourglass. We'd say, what is the most effective way of doing business? We'd draw an hourglass like that and an hourglass like that. We'll tell people and then we'll put a dot and a dot. And what is that? That's belly-to-belly business. This is people that I have to look you in your eyes. I got to see you. I got to feel you before I actually move and do anything. The blessing in technology or the blessing in the internet is you can reach thousands of people. The curse of it is you can't close anybody for anything because you can't feel anybody through the internet. Otherwise, I would be doing everything from a beach house and having everything piped in at every regional. I wouldn't have had Aaron Burke fly out here. I'd have him just on the screen talking to you. I wouldn't have brought Corey Anderson out here from Ohio. I would have had him piped in on a screen. Does that make sense? Everybody following that so far?
Yeah.
As on that checklist of getting people to come into the business, you need to have everyone get into the registry of our text group. So that should be part of your checklist. That's 313131, 3 times. So they actually text in their phone. It's funny, isn't it? Because no matter how many times I say this, once I say it and I get in my car and I leave the training, I see people that text me and put 313131. Every time I get at least 5 or 6 people, they're texting me, put 3, and then they put the name, and I'm like, that. No. Don't text me. You actually put in the number as if you're putting in someone's cell number. That's where you put the 313131. It's 3 times, 313131, where you would actually put the telephone number. And in the body, where you would type the message, you put, with no spaces, LA Matrix. Now in Chicago, I have one group because I'm here now. When I jump started this part of the system again, where I have one that is just matrix. So if somebody is in Indiana, or if it's somebody in New York, or if it's somebody in Pittsburgh,